In the heart of Arizona, a movement of faith and unity continues to rise. The African American Christian Clergy Coalition, or AACCC, stands as a collective of clergy dedicated to impact, change, and transformation across our communities. Rooted in the call of Christ and guided by the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because we are, and we are because I am. We exist to uplift, empower, and unify. Together we serve as a bridge, connecting churches, amplifying voices, and inspiring meaningful progress within the African American community. Because we come together for Christ, we move together for change. The story of AACCC is rooted in a legacy that began decades ago. In the 1960s, Phoenix's African American faith leaders formed the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, a coalition of clergy from the African Methodist, Presbyterian, and Baptist traditions. Their mission was clear: to be a prophetic public voice for justice, equity, and progress in the African American community. Through advocacy, education, and faith, they championed political engagement and opened doors of opportunity for generations to come.
The Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance of Phoenix and vicinity was a small group of pastors who were involved in their respective congregations, and we would meet to talk about different needs going on in the community, and it helped to keep communication between the various pastors, and it was various denominations, Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, Pentecostal.
It brought pastors together. Not only did it bring pastors together, but it brought them together on centralized issues. And so that there was a centralized voice speaking for our community. And so it was critical.
These men were power brokers. They knew that the city needed a voice and a representation. When I say the city, the people of color. And they needed this representation, and they sat at the table and they made sure that our voice was heard and our issues were heard and needs were met.
And so there was a void for a few years. I don't remember how many years. There was a void for a few years. And then in 2003, the late Bishop Alexis A. Thomas reached out to me because he was interested in resurrecting something like the IMA, not the IMA itself. And so he and I met for lunch and we talked about it, and we came up with the name African American Christian Clergy Coalition.
It was like a breath of fresh air. We started coming together, we started fellowshipping, we started eating together, laughing together. The unity seemed to be back. And again, there we were every month dealing with issues, and when something major happened, it wasn't you didn't have to work really hard. We were already coming back together to deal with stuff.
Many of our challenges have been breaking out of our paradigms. and seeing things differently, recognizing that there are some things that we were holding on to and made them absolutes when they were variables. And so letting go of some of those, that has been some of the things that have come up that have caused some challenges, because there are individuals who hold on to what was and won't embrace what is and what could be.
I think the biggest challenge for the AACCC has been finding its footing. I think it has a great vision and mission with the different pillars, but getting the rest of the clergy and beyond, not just pastors, but clergy that are associated with the churches that are members of our organization, to become active participants in the pillars, so each of those pillars can start making an impact. There is a saying that says, more hands make light work. And we just need more hands so that the work can be lighter, as opposed to the few hands that we have that are trying to hold and buoy it all up. So that's the challenge. It is really diversifying our membership, and those members not just being a name on a roll, but being an active participant in the initiatives that the organization has.
To address the challenges faced by the AACCC, both within the organization and across the community, the team came together to reimagine its legacy. Through reflection, collaboration, and prayer, they revisited their purpose and reaffirmed their commitment to unity, justice, and service.
We've just completed a full strategic planning conference retreat. What was actually supposed to take 3 days took several months of hard work, where executive members, key members in the coalition, as well as just members, came to the table to help restructure AACCC, get some things set in place so that we can pretty much reintroduce ourselves to the community. We weren't engaged in many areas that we were missing. People only saw us maybe in one or two aspects, which may have just been in that social justice area, which we're very strong on. And then as well as just on the church side, but not seeing the other pieces of pastoral care and pastoral support fellowship. So I think the thing, we just weren't engaging enough outside of the norm that we were doing. And that's just kind of how the community only saw us. And so I think one of the challenges was that we didn't give them the broader view.
I would describe the reimagined AACCC as innovative, welcoming, that it fosters a sense of belonging that some of them may have been missing in the past, that the community and the fellowship is there, and that if they want to be a part of impacting their community more effectively, that they definitely want to look at what the new AACCC has planned for the future.
I'm first of all excited about the process that we've gone through to really negotiate and really have some real honest conversation about the needs of, first of all, clergy, and then for the community as well. And so I believe that we will be, and that we are, a catalyst for change. We can demonstrate what it means for brethren and sisterin to dwell together in unity.
I think the AACCC wasn't clear on what its mission was. There were opportunities for us to use the latitude of who we are, that is all of the pastors and all of their congregations. King holiday fights, SB 1070, racism, social injustices. We were very clear about how to gather and galvanize all of our constituency behind a very clear target. Those are very clear targets. But in the downtime, there's still inequities in healthcare. There's still inequities in education. There's still inequities. And sometimes those inequities, if there's not a galvanizing event, can get lost. The restructuring helps us to see it doesn't need a galvanizing event. The inequities is the event. And these pillars allow us to speak to those inequities all the time, not because someone was killed, not because someone was laid off, not because there is a structure change. It is something that we need to work on every day so that our children will have it better than we have it.
As African Americans, our problems aren't going away because someone else decides to address them for us. Our problems may be addressed, but more than likely will not be addressed if we don't go to the table, sit down, and address our concerns. We're not going away, but we need your support, and we want you to know that we've listened, we've heard, and we've addressed. Now we need for you to reimagine. And it's very easy. Actually, it's more easy to sit back on the sidelines and complain about what's not right and who hasn't heard me and who hasn't accepted us and find fault. I tend to look at things like this. Don't just talk about a problem, do something. What does that look like? It looks like rolling up your sleeves. It looks like getting involved. It looks like maybe having your feelings checked at the door. Because at the end of the day, I have children, I'm a soon to be a grandfather. It's my responsibility to make the world a better place. It's my responsibility not to just sit back and say what isn't for us, but it's my responsibility to say what needs to be and make sure that I leave a foundation that some things that my children, my grandchildren will never have to face because I dealt with it on my watch.
An organization like AACCC is needed in any city because of the ability to bring the African American community together in a positive aspect, in a proactive aspect as well. Generally, the only time you see the African American community really truly bond together in support of each other is when something tragic happens. And so if we can get in front of those things, utilizing something like what AACCC does for the community, then that'll be a positive outcome, something positive for them to put on the news, something positive for the people in the African American community to look at as a growth opportunity.
My prayer is that that we would represent as clergy coming together so that we can be a model to the community of what it means to actually work together for Christ, together for change.
What began as a vision decades ago now lives on through the reimagined legacy of the AACCC. It's a story of faith and perseverance, of leaders who refuse to let the work end where it started. And as the coalition steps forward, it carries the same calling that's guided it from the beginning: to serve, to uplift, and to stand united in Christ. Together for change, together for community, together for a stronger future.